Not right now. Not right now. I know it's very good, but that's not what I'm going to read right now. I'm going to read William James. I guess this will be a Clubhouse exclusive, and then I'm going to end my morning Clown House usage. But I'm looking forward to abandoning Clubhouse this summer. And, I'll never abandon it because it's nice to have the ability to live stream. So, like, I'm always live streaming in my car. That's my favorite time to live stream because it's like you kill two birds with one stone. It's like, oh, I get to project what I'm listening to people, like, and it's good stuff. Maybe they'll like it. But again, all communication is hypnosis, so I have technically hypnotized you with chillism, even. I'm not even doing it. It's fully automated hypnosis, which is pretty cool. But it's at the expense of automatons, and we are trying to free these people. I don't know. It'll never work. I bet you they will be here. I bet you like 10 years from now, Nathan will be like, some of you have been with us for a long time, and we can't believe it. We've grown the room to 100,000 suckers. And in the process, my life has gone nowhere. Okay, this is called The Realities of Religion. I'm just going to read 2 pages. That'll be my Clown House contribution for intelligence. Or maybe 3 pages. Let's do 3 pages. Okay, chapter 6, The Realities of Religion, What the Mystic Experience Signifies. From a pluralistic universe. I find it interesting that Obama uses the word pluralism, and I think he's actually incorrectly using it, and thus he's just a hypnotist. Mr. Chesterton, I think, says somewhere that the Greeks and Romans and all that concerned the moral life were an extraordinary solemn set of folks. The Athenians thought that the very gods must admire the rectitude of Phocion and Aristides, and those gentlemen themselves were apparently of much the same opinion. Cato's veracity was so impeccable that the extremest incredulity a Roman could express of anything was to say, I would not believe it even if Cato had told me. Good was good and bad was bad for these people. Hypocrisy, which church Christianity brought in, hardly existed. The naturalistic system held firm. Its values showed no hollowness and brooked no irony. The individual, if virtuous enough, could meet all possible requirements. The pagan pride had never crumbled. Luther was the first moralist who broke with any effectiveness through the crust of all this naturalistic self-sufficiency, thinking impossibly he was right that St. Paul had done it already. Religious experience of the Lutheran type brings all our naturalistic standards to bankruptcy. You are strong only by being weak, it shows. You cannot live on pride or self-sufficingness. There is a light in which all naturally founded and currently accepted distinctions, excellences, and safeguards of our characters appear as utter childishness. Sincerely to give up one's conceit or hope of being good in one's own right is the only door to the universe's deeper reaches. Here is a word in which all is well in spite of certain forms of death, indeed because of certain forms of death. Death of hope, death of strength, death of death. Death of responsibility, of fear and worry, competency and desert. Death of everything that paganism, naturalism, and legalism pin their faith on and tie their trust to. Reason, operating on our other experiences, even our psychological experiences, would never have inferred these specifically religious experiences in advance of their actual coming. She could not suspect their existence, for they are discontinuous with the natural experiences they succeed upon and invert their values. But as they actually come and are given, creation widens to the view of the recipients. They suggest that our natural experience, our strictly moralistic and prudential experience, may be only a fragment of real human experience. They soften nature's outlines and open out the strangest possibilities and perspectives. This is why it seems to me that the logical understanding working in abstraction from such specifically religious experiences will always omit something and fail to reach completely adequate conclusions. Death and failure, it will always say, are death and failure simply, and can never more be one with life. So religious experience, peculiarly so called, needs, in my opinion, to be carefully considered and interpreted by everyone who aspires to reason out a more complete philosophy. To quote words which I have used elsewhere, the believer finds that the tenderer parts of his personal life are continuous with more of the same quality, which is operative in the universe outside of him and which he can keep in working touch with, and in a fashion get on board of and save himself, when all his lower being has gone to pieces in the wreck. In a word, the believer is continuous to his own consciousness, at any rate, with a wider self from which saving experiences flow in. Those who have such experiences distinctly enough and often enough to live in the light of them remain quite unmoved by criticism from whatever quarter it may come, be it academic or scientific, or be it merely the voice of logical common sense. They have had their vision and they know that is enough. That we inhabit an invisible spiritual environment from which help comes, our soul being mysteriously one with a larger soul whose instruments we are. One may therefore plead, I think, that Fechner's ideas are not without direct empirical verification. There is at any rate one side of life which would be easily explicable if those ideas were true, but of which there appears no clear explanation so long as we assume either with naturalism that human consciousness is the highest consciousness there is, or with dualistic theism that there is a higher mind in cosmos, but that it is discontinuous with our own. Okay, that's it. That's 3 pages from the philosophy of William James, The Realities of Religion. Okay, so it's kind of funny because I'm thinking about chillism and people on this app who, may have achieved some form of enlightenment. Um, and so it's like kind of fun to just roast indexes of enlightenment, because really it's like an English competition game. It's like a spelling bee in a way. Okay, so that's it. That's my morning hypnosis with William James. I thank you for being here, Chris. Anything you want to say before I end the Andrew plus Chillism super stupid hypnosis room?
I just sent my bot in, so I can give you the link to the YouTube channel that's streaming it if you want to restream.
Okay, cool. But I'm gonna take a break from chillism for the day. But I will share. Yeah, you can text them to me. I will share it across all the platforms to spite them and to roast them, and encourage people to listen in to super stupid hypnosis. I like to call it rapid hypnosis or rapid stupid hypnosis. That's my. I want to throw the rapid or maybe even extreme rapid stupid hypnosis. That's probably the best way to do it. Okay.
Hypnosis derangement.
Hypnosis derangement syndrome. Which is really saying communication derangement syndrome, which is what it is. Okay, this has been a communication derangement syndrome, aka a Longmont Potion Castle production. And it's so funny because people are really upset with my Longmont Potion Castle videos because I am taking over the Longmont Potion Castle brand, and I'm dominating the search engine
it's showing
results.
up on Google searches. I looked it up and your videos are there.
You know what's so funny is he did a podcast with a guy and he was like, "So have you had anybody impersonate you?" He's like, "Yeah, one guy, but not really. Nobody's ever tried to hijack the Longmont Potion Castle prank call brand, and I'm the first person to ever do, keyword spam with Longmont Potion Castle. That's how unpopular he is. He's got a lot of views, and I bought the record, but honestly, it's pretty bad. Clown House roasting is way funnier, in my opinion, than his recordings. So I think I'm onto something here with Clown House and replatforming, for actual monetization. Because if I was actually making money and I live stream chillism, they would all call me a hero if I could cash app people. They'd be like, "Wow, okay, this guy's legit," And it's only because I built it up organically. But even then, It's just, yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't actually give them any money. Oh, I have a funny story for you. Okay, listen to this. So I'm at Chipotle yesterday, and I'm walking in, and this black guy is hoveled over a walker, and he's got a sign, it says begging for money. So I said, "I got you, bro, on the way out." So I'm sitting there eating my Chipotle, and a sheriff pulls up, and he like throws some garbage away, looks at the homeless guy, and then the homeless guy scatters and like walks off. But I think he was only walking off into the sun. But it was at that moment that I realized this guy was a fake cripple. Like he didn't even need the walker. That was just part of his shtick. And so I kind of like was angry with myself because I realized that like at one glance, he looks like an actual cripple, and you feel like, okay, I could do a little charity here. Here's $1. But then when I saw that he was a fake cripple, I was like, you know what? Fuck me. Like, fuck him and fuck me, because now that I know he's a fake cripple, and so I knew that as I walked out, he walked away just far enough to where he was like out of my periphery, but I still knew where he was. So when I walked out, I didn't even glance at him. And not until I was halfway through the parking lot did he start screaming at me, "Mister! Mister! Sir! Mister!" He's screaming at me. But I never looked back. I got in my car and I drove off, and I was like, fuck that motherfucking, so. Because I like helping, but I realized there is no reason to ever give $1 to a man. $1 should go to a child or a woman with a child. But if you're just gonna beg with a sign outside of a Chipotle and you're like a fake cripple, I mean that is, fuck you. I mean, you could do, and you have to figure something out. That is a horrible way to live. First of all, like what a terrible business idea. But secondly, like fuck you. You could work. You could do something. There is no reason to be pulling the fucking bullshit that you're pulling. He's like a magician, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen that before, where homeless people or people who beg, like they put on this amazing poverty hypnosis, then they throw their wheelchair in the back of their trunk and drive off. It's like they go to Wrigley Field, and they're like the cripple who's in a spot blocking all the traffic, holding a sign, and everybody's like, fucking this motherfucker. It's just so funny. Anyways, that was my observation yesterday, because anytime I see a black man pulling a scam in the street, it's always worthy of commentary. For another example, I've seen 2 black people throw themselves to the ground and like beg to like help, like get you to help them up, and like both times I was just like, oh yeah, I can help you get up. Come on, you can do it. Anyways, just commentary. Thought it was kind of funny yesterday because it made me feel like, you know what, like I love charity. I love that because it's like, it gives you godliness to do charity, but yeah, I was just kind of like, I was happy with the way that things played out yesterday with this guy, because I got to avoid him and like cause him, because you see what I'm saying. I hope it makes sense. Okay, I'm ending this. Didn't mean to but anyways, see, this is how I would use Clubhouse to describe my Larry David life, where you make observations about the environment, which are technically trying to gaslight you. That's what the whole Larry David show is. It's about road raging, or emotional tension, silent emotional tension. Okay, this is my Pop Morning Podcast. God bless you all. Chris, I hope you have a great day. Live stream these bastards, and we will have success. Talk to you soon. Bye.